Now, what do we do in case of a hazardous eruption of Taal volcano? Well, we now talk to Emergency Preparedness Advocate Martin Aguda. Thanks for joining us, Martin. Glad you could be here.
Yeah, morning.
All right, now PHILVOLCS is still warning of this dangerous eruption, dangerous activity, even though on the surface Taal seems a little more calm. So we still definitely have that threat. So first of all, what should people do in case of a hazardous, explosive eruption? What's the first thing they need to do?
Yeah, first of all, because PHILVOLCS has designated the danger zone, the 14-kilometer danger zone, that means to be on lockdown, meaning it should be no man's land, and that is for the safety from all the hazards, the pyroclastic flow, and the volcanic tsunami. Those in the outside the 14 danger kilometer zone might or will experience, depending on the wind direction, the ashfall, the heavy ashfall, which can be disruptive also in terms of our daily living and health-wise. So I think those outside the 14 danger kilometer zone should prepare as well, not for the very direct effects, but for the heavy ashfall. And preparedness means when authorities tell us just to stay in place or stay in their homes, they should have adequate preparedness. So that will include the respiratory protection and the personal protection that we should have, plus the food and water that we should have enough for several days, because probably you would want to stay inside and you don't want to go out of that ash environment that could probably affect you.
And establishments might be closed anyway.
That's right.
Okay, so when you say a couple of days, what are we looking at? 3 days? More?
In terms of preparation?
Yeah.
Well, basic preparedness will tell us to have a provision for like 72 hours in the US, but let's put it in the Philippine context. I would say even longer if you can prepare. No? But especially with this volcanic eruption, we don't know how this will stall us.
Okay, so at least 3 days or more in the Philippine setting.
Yeah, I would suggest for this volcanic eruption, it should be longer.
Okay, now you talked about the respiratory protection, and you have a mask there. Now, this is different from the N95, but it provides the same amount of protection. Can you show us what you have there and explain a little bit about it?
Yeah, we always hear N95 because N95 uses the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health in the US. It's N95 because it filters 95% of the airborne particles. That's why it's called N95. However, you have other standards, the EU standards, wherein it uses other names, but this is the same.
So it gives you the same protection as an N95.
It gives you the same protection. This is a FFP2, which means FFP means filtering face piece. So the effectiveness of a face piece would depend actually on the ability to filter the ash, for example. So N95 is technically rated, or industry rated to filter dust and volcanic ash. The other factor is its fit to your face. No, so these are two factors that is very important. So this is an example of your FFP2, which is the same as N95 mask. So
okay, and these are available locally also.
These are available locally. I got this from my friend. No? So two factors here is the ability to filter, and the other one is the fit.
Okay.
Kids usually will not fit will not have a proper fit of the mask. So we must be extra careful with how we deal with kids, especially we may want just to take them indoors instead.
Okay, yeah, because if it doesn't fit them properly, there's not much point in them wearing it anyway.
That's right.
Okay, I know these are usually for industrial use, so do they make them in children's sizes even?
I don't think so. That's why there's an extra precaution of maybe you can give this to a kid, but the important factor of its effectiveness is having a good seal around your face, aside from the filtering ability of the mask itself, the material itself.
All right. Now, you always talk so much about preparedness on your social media platforms. But, on Sunday, I think all of us were taken by surprise. If that sort of element of surprise is there again, if and when Taal finally does have its big eruption, what do we do? How much time do we really have to prepare?
That's why preparedness is key. You don't go to the grocery and do panic buying of all your stuff there. That's why you should have a regular or a supply in your go bag as we teach them. Every time, yeah, you have two types of preparedness. Your go bag is a go bag that will contain the essential items, food, water, and essential tools used for evacuation. But a shelter-in-place scenario wherein most of us
Who are not within the 14
who are not within the
kilometer
danger zone will shelter in place, meaning you have to have enough stockpile of food, water, and other supplies without going to the grocery to buy your stuff for daily
Right.
use.
But there's no protocol. Like in an earthquake, if it happens suddenly, it's duck, cover, and hold. In a volcanic eruption, is there any such thing like that if you are within the danger zone, even if you're not supposed
Well,
to
the
be?
best protective measure there, you have two types of protective measure, evacuate and shelter in place. The best protective measure is evacuate. That's it.
All right. And for the go bags, if let's just say people are not prepared and they only have a matter of minutes to pack a go bag, what are the essentials that you throw in there?
Well, maybe change of clothes for just for overnight. Then food and water, whatever water that you can carry and whatever canned goods that you can carry. But of course, it depends on how the mode of evacuation. If you don't have a vehicle, of course, that would be a challenge. That's why you should have practically you should have a bag ready, preferably a backpack, so you can stuff all of your items there and evacuate immediately. But then again, as we always advocate, you should have these things pre-packed. That's why you call it a go bag or grab bag.
Right, so you're ready to go anytime. Now, if you are out of your house, you're not anywhere where there's shelter, and you're caught in the middle of an ashfall, right, without warning, what's the best thing to do? Seek shelter right away? Should you make your way home? And what is the safest kind of shelter to seek?
Well, number one, that's correct. Seek shelter because you don't want to be caught by the ashfall. And when you drive, there's the danger of driving during an ashfall because visibility will be very low, and since vehicular accidents will be very common. So as much as possible, you don't want to drive in an ashfall. So we have during the ashfall itself.
Okay,
and
so get off the road.
get off the road. But right after the ashfall, the danger is that you try to remobilize the ash with the vehicular traffic and the foot traffic, which happens right now, wherein
Yes.
people are rushing to the danger to the evacuation areas. So the ash problem will persist for a matter of weeks and months, and clean up should be very important as well.
All right, what is the safest kind of shelter a person can seek in the event of an eruption in ashfall?
As long as you are out of the danger zone, another risk will be earthquakes. Okay, so you have to be in a shelter wherein you know that is structurally sound and stable, because we all know the one hazard of a volcanic eruption is an earthquake. So you make sure that you want to have a structure that will enable to protect you. Of course, you do the usual procedure, the duck, cover, and hold. If the earthquake will be strong enough for falling objects to have. And with regards to heavy ashfall, that can damage the roof. So again, structurally sound structures are a very important consideration. And of course, that you should be out of the danger zone, as we repeatedly say.
All right, lots of good advice there. Hopefully, we won't need it so much. We do appreciate your time this morning. Thank you, Emergency Preparedness Advocate Martin Aguda.